Do the price story for this week. Let's start with ES. So we either have a 2-2 continuation down or 1-2-2 up on this week for ES. ES ended up triggering that 2 down last week, but got right back at the yearly, closed right at it. Sometimes frames above it, but some of the time frames are not. So it's literally like at the line in the sand for ES. So last week we were saying, hey, that is the watch area. This week, again, it is the watch area. That is the main area because we're going to either bounce again off of this yearly broadening or we're going to actually visit the prices below that I stated from last week. So I have the levels of where we can prices that we can see this week: 41.25, 41.36. These are a weekly retest level. This is not the price story price levels. 41.55.25, that's the only one that is like a yearly 0.50 again that we could visit. But I don't know if we see that top of the price story box, 41.75. I don't know if we could see it this week. We will need to start to hold above the 41.36.50 level, and that would be the weekly level from last week. We would need to start to build above it. We cannot reject it. Now, let's say if we did reject it and we came back down, and we actually tapped. Let's go to the chart. We came back down and we actually touched this again. We're going to come through and touch our targets. Now that we are on the chart, one thing that I want to make clear is, yes, we closed at the yearly broadening, but everybody knows, well, if you've been following me for a long time, once we expand into a broadening, we always retest that broadening. So let me not say always. Let's say expected. It's always expectant for us to retest it, and that's exactly what we're doing on a 4-hour, and this is why we're closed at the line. Now, we want to determine, are we just retesting this and rejecting to come back down to hit the levels that I stated last week? Because we know that these levels would be hit. Or will we expand through it? Get back in the zone to test these imbalances that we have up here. So the biggest main thing that we're going to watch on open is, do we get back into the zone, which is above that level, above the level we at right now, and start to go to those target upsides that I have stated. Now, once we start to get back into the zone, your only main level to watch is the level that I put in here, 41.36.50. We need to, it's very crucial that we stay above that level to get any continuation upside. But let's say we reject that level. If we reject that 41.36 level and we start to come back into here, be fully prepared that we're going to come through it. We're going to come through. So it's either this here, like that, or here. That's the two routes that we're going to take. We literally at the same place we were last week when we did the price story. The difference with the price story now is certain broadening formations are expanded through or fell through. So that's the biggest change in the game this week versus last week. So watch the levels that I put on the chart. In the write-up, and that's all that we can have. Because if you're looking at, let me turn off my weekly really quick, and we're looking at the weekly, we went that 2 down, we right at the line. We could literally start to make that 2 and come down to the normal price action of 40.14, or we can try one more time for the breakout up. That's what can happen. Now, so let's go to NQ. NQ did a double inside. It did not break last week with ES. Double inside last week. So we can say when we break, it'll be there. So the same thing with NQ. We We were underneath the price story because NQ is so simple. We're underneath the price story 50. We're underneath the price story 50. We bounced up, played this whole game all week. Now the difference between this underneath being underneath here is that we were on the broadening. This time we're below it. So do we just retest the same thing with ES? Do we retest and come back to visit that 6-month level and potentially this level? That's the most important. So NQ is so simple. We either on top of the 50 or we below it. And we all know what happens with, the levels of the price story. We already know this price story for NQ is new anyway. So the only thing that's kind of in the way of it hitting the top of the box is this broadening. So sometimes price has to go all the way out before it can come and hit and never even break a new price story. But that's thinking way too far ahead. So opening, we get back above the 50, see if we could get here. We need to start to hold above here. That's what we need to hold. If we do not and we start to reject on a higher time frame, then we probably looking to finally break this double inside. Or else we just go triple inside on a week for NQ. Daily looks bounceable. It looks same thing. Everything is the same. Pattern is we doing the same thing. Same. See what happened? So that's what's gonna happen. Same thing. I don't know if it's any particular news this week that would, other than earnings. Let me double check really quick. Let me look really quick. Other than earnings, but it should follow the same exact price action that has been following since last week. And we just have to wait for that break. We have to wait to see, what's going to happen. So I'm thinking this week is the same type of action. Oh, we have PMI. I don't think PMI do it. Oh, we got FOMC. Oh, why nobody talk? I don't know about that. I thought it was March, the next meeting. So this is Wednesday, the 22nd. Okay, that makes sense. Oh, and PCE. All right, this makes sense now. Now it makes sense. Like, why are we sitting here holding like this? All right, so we should make a move. Follow the levels and do not be sitting here. Just don't get caught up in the hype. Just pay attention to your levels, and that's it. Pay attention to your levels, and if your level's showing you what price is going to do, just follow that. If we're above here and we don't reject and start forming a bearish pattern here, then we're going up. But if we start rejecting this area right here with a bearish pattern, we're most likely coming back down. We come back down to this level again, we're breaking through it. Y'all know me, third time's the charm. So this second bounce may not be as high as this bounce. Remember that too. If it's not as high as this bounce, then hey, we might be coming down. So tread with caution. I do think we slightly bullish this week, but not extremely bullish. Slightly bullish, but not extremely bullish. And if we look at my dollar just overall, I use it for the big picture. We close right back below here again. So I could see maybe something coming down a little bit, letting us have that one last bullish scenario going on, and then if this rejects here and come back, it's going up. So it's really fairly simple. I'm not gonna overthink it. So good luck this week. Let's kill it. Price action looks fairly simple. It looks simple. All right.